Here's something else I want to speak on really quick. This was something I was actually talking to my husband about the other day, like a week ago or so, and I want to speak on this. Y'all know I'm big into understanding spiritual warfare, but my Mama Santa Muerte, she gave me a differentiation between spiritual attack and spiritual warfare, and why people who have been traumatized are more susceptible to attacks first, more so than anything, than warfare. And this is why healing thyself and working on yourself is so important. This is why developing this is so important. And here's why. Because there's a difference between spiritual attack and spiritual warfare. Warfare implies that you have a fight in you. Warfare implies you know your strengths and weaknesses. Warfare implies that you're a, how do I say this? Like a threat, like a contender, like a, like that you've got that strength to enter the ring. Okay? Now, I'm not saying, now please don't take this the wrong way, those of you who are dealing with trauma, listen, I deal with PTSD, I'm managing PTSD symptoms and triggers all the time, okay? I speak as a person going through this that I have a lot of weaknesses, okay? So, therefore, there are lower level entities and people who ally with them and invite them in their lives that can get to certain places in me that I'm still working on. People who have been abused and traumatized and all that stuff are primed for mind control. Because there are lower level entities that work through people to do the things that were done to you. Okay? Everything is spiritual, just as much as it's mental, emotional, and physical. I'm a holistic practitioner, okay? I always look at things holistically, meaning I look at the whole piece. I look at every piece because it's all one working thing, okay? That means that everything is also spiritual too, okay? So there are energies and entities that work through people who don't heal themselves to then try to corrupt the next generation of healers and teachers and helpers and comedians and artists and all of that stuff, okay? So, you're being primed for mind control through other people who have harmed you. So you need to work on yourself because you're more prone to spiritual attack. Now, spiritual warfare can happen to anyone, especially strong people too. It happens to people of strength. But warfare implies that you're ready to fight, that you know how to fight, and that you can enter the fight. That's why you hear of like really good people, really healthy people, very spiritually strong and faithful people still getting in the ring with lower level beings. And that's because they've worked on areas within themselves that were weak and are still doing it enough that they are a worthy opponent in that ring, okay? But if you're being attacked and letting it influence you, like letting it get to you, letting it influence your decision making, letting it get to you to a point that it causes stressors in your life, you gotta work on that. That's because there's areas in you that were already softened and primed to be controlled, because those areas, when strengthened, when healed, when worked on, when faced, are going to make you one strong opponent. Okay? So don't take any of this as like a shame post, a blame post, you're not doing your healing journey right. Don't let that negative shit get in your head. That's not what I'm doing here. This is speaking from experience even right now. Okay? So I just want you to know the difference between attack and warfare. Warfare is almost like an upgrade, right? It means that, yeah, it's not going to be easy still, but it'll definitely be more doable than when you're being attacked, because when you're being attacked, that implies that you're still kind of weak in an area. But let that be medicine for you. Let that be revealing to you. See, these entities out here, these spiritual beings and these darker souled people don't realize that when they poke you, they're actually pushing you to be your best self. You need to realize that, though. You need to. Because once you do, baby, oh my goodness, it's going to be good for you. You're going to meet that version of yourself that God knew you could be and knows you can be. Okay? You need to know it. Work on that.